Welcome to the Doc's Diagnosis, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. Do us a favor and go ahead and give this video a like. If you have a comment on something Dr. Rob has to say, leave a comment. And also just take a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dr. Rob, this is the first time in our diagnosis history, first time ever, we're going to diagnose something that did not happen during the game. Pre-game was all the drama in the Iowa Nebraska game. Pre-game drama.
And I think a lot of this, some of this is both teams. And we're going to talk about it, that it's both teams, both programs. But there's a bigger picture here that I think's getting missed by a lot of people, by a lot of fans, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Keep in mind, Dr. Rob is a former Nebraska captain when you hear him speak, so he speaks with authority. So this is, Nebraska traditionally comes out and does a pregame prayer at the 50-yard line. What we see here is them not being allowed to do so.
So, okay, you got a couple things going on here. One, you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought there was another one kind of over here-ish, but you got 6 or 7 police officers guarding the logo. And I understand, okay, you know what? No one's going to plant a flag on your damn logo.
Not
everybody walks, exactly. Everybody they always walk around. At the same time, too, you're going to do a pregame prayer. Guess what? You got 5,000 square yards of space to do it. You don't have to do it right here. You can pray wherever. God will still hear you. Go find another spot. So if Nebraska, you're offended about this, don't be. Go pray somewhere else. Iowa. Again, nobody's planting a flag on Herky. It's just, get over yourselves.
So the retaliation for Nebraska was at the 50-yard line in the handshake.
And I don't know if I would consider that. See, part of this to me is almost one of these things where, let's back up to right here. Let's pause it right here. So this is one of these things where if this is the stuff you're thinking about, because right here, you're thinking about not shaking a guy's hand, you should probably be thinking about making a catch. And that, I'm singling him out, but it goes for all of these guys. There is 1,000 things you need to do to win a football game. And I had a Twitter post in response to discussion on this where I basically said, there's 1,000 things you've got to do to win a game. There's 1,000 things you need to be thinking about to be a champion. If you're thinking about this, you're not thinking about the things you ought to be. And it goes back to the whole, you can talk about, I like the fact that they're now tough guys and not shaking people's hands, and this is what we think of your program. Well, maybe we ought to get our own shit together. Quit thinking about handshake, not handshake, pregame logos. Quit thinking about all whites, alternative uniforms. These are the things that if you were thinking about them, if you were worried about them, if it matters to you, then you're not thinking about winning the damn game. Now, if as a fan, you're going to bitch and moan about Satterfield's play calling, if you're going to bitch and moan about the offensive line's blocking, if you're going to bitch and moan about the defense's tackling, but you're okay with this drama, you're okay with no handshake, you're okay with alternate uniforms, then you're not thinking about the shit you ought to be thinking about. Your team's not thinking about the stuff they ought to be thinking about, and that's why you lose games like this.
So here's the deal. Go back and listen to the Doc Talk podcast from this week, because we're going to go into a lot more of this, more than just the 3 or 4 minutes you got here on the diagnosis. Tomorrow on the diagnosis, a look at where the game against Nebraska and Iowa really turned. It's always one pivotal moment. There happen to be 2 in the Iowa game, and we'll take a look at that tomorrow on the Doc's Diagnosis, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union.
Life is constantly throwing you unexpected surprises. Luckily, at Centris, there are no surprises. When you apply online for a personal loan, you'll know you're getting a low rate through a credit union that cares about your future. Apply online at centrisfcu.org.